Hello and welcome to the final episode of the sad story of Emmeline Burns. I am ready to finish this off and let's see how this goes, guys. Bear with me. My name was defined by men I've never met before. A dead grandfather, an absent father, doesn't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me. At the moment, I'm nothing more than a composite of old names and long-lost ancestors. Bradfords and Bowers and Kendalls and Lintons and... Wait a minute. Linton? Emmeline, can I ask you something? Of course, nothing would make me happier. I haven't had much of a chance to talk to others over the last century. I swallow. My lips feel cracked and dry. My fingertips twitch. Cornelia's last name? What was it? Why, it was Linton. It has been such a long time since I last saw her, but I would never forget that. Linton, was it? Cornelia Linton. It could be a coincidence, of course. But I don't know if I believe in coincidences. Not after everything that's happened today. That was the reason why Emmeline approached me. She thought I was Cornelia. Maybe, in a sense, I am, or at least a small part of me is. And it is with this sudden realization that I feel a light dawn upon me. It's not a real light. The sun remains firmly, stubbornly hidden behind the clouds, but it is a light nonetheless. It is a sudden understanding. A whole wealth of memories, a treasure chest of moments shared by the Lintons, lake of girlish laughter and raspberry lemonade and kisses that taste of carbonation, that I should have no knowledge of. These scenes should be sepia-tainted, like old photographs found in the back of a charity store from years gone well and truly by. I've never even been kissed before. How would I know what it feels like? But I can imagine it. In fact, I don't need to imagine it, because it really did happen. Not to the current me, not to one of my relatives in another time, in a place so very far away. Cornelia? Emmeline stares at me. Or is it me? With wide eyes, hardly daring to believe. I can't entirely believe it either. My body is still mine, but it's not at the same time. I can sense another presence residing inside me, blown in by the old autumn breeze. It lingers, hazy and ephemeral, shy to make itself known, but desperate to speak. I feel my heart pounding, but the sensation is strangely unfamiliar. My fingers tremble. Or are they hers? I open my mouth to speak, but another person's voice comes out. Emmy? Emmy, is it really you? Cornelia, Emmeline presses her hand against her mouth, trying to stifle the gasp of disbelief. But isn't that unnecessary? How can a ghost breathe? The air was choked out of her lungs a long, long time ago. But now, more than 100 years after her death, Emmeline has a whole new reason to be breathless. I thought you'd already passed on. Even after you died, I was never able to find you. At any rate, your body wasn't even buried here. That's right. I was buried where I died, in Wiltshire. I was 73. And you died peacefully. Yes, I am not a ghost. I had no regrets, so I had no reason to come back. And yet right now, you... Well, this was rather unexpected, to tell you the truth. I had been resting peacefully, minding my own business, when, all of a sudden, I found myself here, inside this body. It must have been years since I looked so young. I must apologize to the young girl whose body I've stolen. It's awfully rude, and it wasn't intentional. Don't worry about it, Cornelia. I'm sure Verity won't mind. Verity? That's strange. I don't think that was her name. At any rate, I must thank Miss Verity for her kindness. Sharing one's identity with somebody else is quite a gesture. It might be to other people, but it wasn't to me. I already know what it feels like to share my identity with somebody else. I've been living my whole life in Amelia Miller's shadow. Compared to that, a little light possession is nothing. This outfit is hardly appropriate, though. Cornelia flushes, tugging at the hem of my school skirt. There is rather too much leg on display, and what about the wind? I'm surprised the girls of today don't catch their deaths of cold. You sound like a crotchety old lady, Cornelia. I am an old lady. You are too, so stop trying to act cute. Emmeline giggles, peering up at Cornelia with that familiar mischievous grin. It's the same grin she wore 150 years past during the lazy summer days by the lake, when she would press kisses to Cornelia's lips and recite snatches of misremembered poetry to her. But you still blush like a fair maiden, Cornelia. You think you didn't change at all. And neither did you, Emmy, though I hoped that you might. That attitude of yours was always so unseemly. Mother agreed. Beatrice Linden wouldn't know what fun was. It smacked her across the face. My mother was a commendable person. She might have been a little strict, but she was not without her good points. She was awfully upset when she heard what happened to you, Emmy. Yes, what happened to poor little Emmy? And you, Cornelia, did you miss me too? Do you really have to ask that question? I just want to make sure. I know that you cried a good deal, and that upset me, but I don't know. I wanted you to move on and be happy. I really, truly did, but at the same time, I was also scared. And jealous, too. You really were my first love. I suppose you were my last love, too, and all the loves that I could have come in between. I just don't want to be replaced. You are my one and only, and I want it to be the same for you. I know you lived a lot longer than I did, and I know I'm being selfish, but when I think about you loving someone other than me, it hurts. It hurts so much I can hardly stand it. Emmy. Emmeline's shoulders shook, and though her eyes are devoid of tears, maybe crying is a luxury not afforded to ghosts. I'm sure she would be weeping if she could. She looks fragile, like a single push might shatter her every single bone in her body. Is that why you avoided Cornelia? Though she desperately wanted to see how she was? Was it because she was afraid? But she can't run away now. Not any more. Cornelia takes a few steps forward, slow and stumbling in her unfamiliar body. When she reaches Emmeline, she links her hands and squeezes gently. Emmeline giggles, wiping stray tears that never even had the chance to fall from the corners of her eyes. Well, this certainly is new. You would never have been so bold in the past, Nellie. Perhaps not, but I've grown up. I lived a long life. 73 years. 73 years, was it? A nod. 73 years is an awfully long time to remain obsessed with a skinny young girl who snap kisses from you in summer, is it not? Indeed, it's an awfully long time, and yet, despite that, I was never able to forget you. It would be impossible, even if I wanted to. Cornelia! Cornelia bows her head, perhaps to attempt to hide the threatening blush, but it does no good. She always used to blush around Emmeline, and that hasn't changed. I got married when I was 18. It was a match my mother arranged. She was always so officious, so organized, so practical. Oh, she looks so sad. I wonder why your father did not ask her for advice during the stock market crash. She could have helped. I think he would have been much too embarrassed. It was all Grandmother Patience's fault. She was not particularly a nice woman by all accounts. That really is sad. It could have been avoided so easily. That is what I think too. Such thoughts do not do us much good now, though. No, I suppose they do not. So what about your beau? Emmeline attempts to smile, though it looks forced, slightly strained at the edges. Was he a good looker, Cornelia? Did he sweep you off your feet, just like the prince in the fairy tale? Of course not. He was my match, for my mother chose for me. Do you think she would pair her dear daughter with a feckless sot? So he was sensible, was he? Very sensible. He was twice my age, and he was already starting to lose his hair. But he was rich, and had land, and can afford to look after me. To my mother, that was the most important thing. And not your happiness. According to my mother, money is the root of all happiness. I would like to disagree, but Emily looks down at herself, smiling sadly. Given money can be paid for the sorry state of affairs my family found themselves in, perhaps there is a germ of truth to that. Perhaps. And I was happy with him, in a sense. You loved him? No, I did not love him. He was too old, and we were too dissimilar. We didn't have a single thing in common. Fortunately, he was not unkind, and there was more that can be said for some men, I suppose. Oh, um, I'm sorry, Cornelia. You do not need to be sorry. I may not have been happy, but I was not unhappy. My life was rather comfortable, all things considered. But you did not forget about me. No, I did not. I could not. You you really did mean the world to me back then, Emmy, and I loved you with all my heart. Only back then. Well, I even now I still care for you. I never stopped caring. I just had to stop remembering. Oh, Cornelia, if my heart had not stopped, I'm sure it would have skipped a beat. And my own heart is pounding rather more uncomfortably, though it does not seem to truly belong to me. I I hope I'm not causing this young girl any undue strain. You always did worry too much, Nellie. You used to be so scared that your mother would find out about us. You still let me kiss you, though. Yeah, yes, I was scared, but I am glad for the time we spent together. Had I known it'd be so short, I would have confessed to you sooner. Say, Cornelia? Yes, what is it? I am afraid I must ask, for curiosity compels me to do so. Was I a better kisser than your husband? Ahem. Well, I. It's fine if you cannot answer. It was quite some time since we last kissed with one another. Perhaps I need to refresh your memory. I do not think I would be entirely adverse to that. Well then, shall we? Oh, I'm gonna get a kiss scene. Oh, damn it! My heart pounds. Or is it Cornelia's? Perhaps it belongs to both of us. Oh, yay! I'm so happy. It's just some love. Though she had been dead 150 years, Emmeline's lips were soft and warm, sweet and gentle, and filled with a deep sense of yearning. Oh my god, I'm so happy! I wonder how long Emmeline had wanted to kiss Cornelia. How long has she been sleeping in this graveyard, dreaming unfulfilled dreams of a time gone by when she was young and happy and very much alive? Maybe she thought her dream would never come true. That was why she consigned herself to dreaming, and did not awake from her sleepy stupor, a ghostly girl isolated from the rest of the world. But now she has finally managed to make her dream come true. Is there any reason for her to haunt the graveyard further? Surely all of her regrets have been wiped away, like the spring sunshine melting in the winter snow. She may never understand her dad's motivations for committing such a terrible crime, but I doubt that was real regret that kept her body tied to this earth. Instead, it was Cornelia. For Emmeline, it was always Cornelia. So pretty. She's blushing so much. Emmy, will you come back with me this time, won't you? I have been lonely without you. What? I thought you would have been enjoying the peace and quiet. You always did say I was a nuisance. You may have bothered me, but I did not mind the attention. Though I enjoyed the calm, it can be rather dull at times. Then I must go with you, without delay. I would never want you to feel like you had been abandoned. That would be far too sad. Yes, I will be waiting. I have encroached upon this girl's body far too long, and I should give it back. It would be the proper thing to do. You always did care about the proper thing, Nellie. Evidently not enough. Not when it comes to you. Mother will be so surprised when she learns. I look forward to seeing the expression on her face. I don't think I've ever seen Beatrice Linton surprised about anything before in my life. Yes, well, let's see how it goes, shall we? I would like that more than anything in the world. Cornelia smiles, taking Emmeline's hand in her own and squeezes. I will see you on the other side, Emmy. Please do not tarry. It has already been far too long. Ah, and with that I feel myself gradually regaining the control of my body. My fingertips twitch, my eyelids blink, and I inhale the cool autumnal air almost greedily, like a drowning maiden resurfaced from the inky black water. My body belongs to me again, and only me. My identity, once subsumed among Cornelia's ego, like a moon orbiting the earth, has finally been restored. I never realised it until now, but I really do have an identity of my own. I might be quiet and I might be shy, and my classmates might call me weird, but that doesn't invalidate me as a person. Neither does the fact that Amelia Miller took my name, nor the fact that my dad left me when I was still an embryo in my mum's womb. None of that matters. It's all irrelevant. It doesn't change the fact that I exist. I am alive. I am the product of my ancestors before me, a whole string of successive relatives with their own stories to tell, and I have a story of my own. How could I throw my identity away? It may not fit me perfectly, but it's the only one I have, and if I don't like it, all I need to do is create another. I have that power. Why did I never realize it before, until it was wrested away from me by a restless memory of a girl long since dead? The old saying must be true. You never realize what you have until you lose it. Verity, thank you for helping me. You have no idea how much it means to me. I really am glad that I met you, though I was never able to learn your name. My name, is it? A name that belongs to me. I straightened my back and held a lungful of air and declare, My name is Toma Andrews, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Emmeline. Toma? What a cute name. Cute? The only other person who says that is Hattie. Everyone else thinks it's weird. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Nellie would get jealous. I think it is perfectly charming, though. Why did you not wish to share it with me? I'm not entirely sure. I was embarrassed. Embarrassed by your name? That's right, but I think I've realized something. I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. Well, maybe I was able to teach you something too. That was another one of my dreams. Your dreams? Yes, I did so love English literature, and I would have enjoyed being a tutor. That might have been somewhat difficult given the period I lived in, but it seems that things are starting to change. Emmeline looks down at my school skirt, and I feel myself flushing. Why is my skirt such a point of interest? It isn't that short, is it? If Emmeline and Cornelia are scandalised by my skirt, they should see Emmeline Hargreaves. That would knock them unconscious. I hope you have a pleasant life, dear Toma, and when the time comes, you'll have to tell me all about it. Don't worry, I will. I'll go on all kinds of adventures, and I'll get some stories and real stories to share with you. I can't wait. It seems like the next century is going to be very interesting indeed. And with a cheerful giggle, Emmeline's body disappears from this world. There she goes. I watch as she fades away until she becomes nothing more than a memory. I pinch my arm. It hurts. I guess this wasn't a dream after all. I really did meet the ghost called Emmeline Burns, and I really did meet a long-lost ancestor, Cornelia Linton. My mum would be so jealous. A silly smile rises to my lips despite myself, and I can't help but giggle. I don't know if my body has ever felt this light. I need to keep going forwards no matter what happens. I should try to be more like Emmeline, who didn't give up on her dreams even after she died. I could use some willpower like that. It's probably because of that strength that Cornelia fell in love with her. Who wouldn't? Despite her sad story, Emmeline Burns really is beautiful. I hope that I, Tom Andrews, a recovering victim of identity theft, can someday be as beautiful as her. Oh, it's the end. Oh, okay. Ending! Oh, I liked it. It was really cute. It was like, sad because of what her dad did. I mean, it's just very, very sad. But I guess it is the sad story of Emily Burns, not the cheerfully optimistic story. But it had a happy ending, I suppose. I mean, in her death, it was happy, but no. Ugh. Ah, it's just pretty. Anyway, credits. Oh, what the heck? Oh my gosh, there's an extra bit. That must be Hattie. Oh, look at her jumper. Oh god, look how pretty it is. Look at the little bat there. It's so cute. It's coming down really fast. The sky overhead is a steely slate grey, completely overcast with clouds. The rain falls down in an endless stream, beating mercilessly against the ground. This is just great. The curls are going to fall out of my hair. At least we were able to get our shopping done before it started. I suppose so. It's so dreary, though. Hattie frowns, fiddling with one of her curls with the top of her index finger. She must have spent a long time on those curls this morning. She does look absolutely adorable, though. Hattie's something of a perfectionist, so she spends a long time on everything. Her handwriting is incredibly neat, an elegantly flowing script that wouldn't look out of place in an 18th century manuscript, but takes her a small eternity to do all her schoolwork. Sadly, the dampness of the atmosphere has taken a toll on her curls, and they no longer look as curly as they did a few hours ago. Hattie's hair had been deflating slowly throughout the day, but this sudden downpour must have been the last straw. It's all right, Hattie. I pause, shifting. The plastic bench is cold beneath the exposed backs of my thighs, and it bites through the thin fabric of my socks. I shiver. Maybe I should have worn something more season appropriate, but I didn't think it was going to rain this much. I didn't even bring an umbrella. I know it's foggy this morning, but it's been foggy every single morning these last 2 weeks, and it didn't rain then. I guess I was just unlucky. I still think it looks nice. You do? That's right, you're very pretty, you know. Hattie blinks. She looks a little perplexed, but only for a few moments. Where is this coming from? Do you feel guilty about the money? Oh no, it isn't that really. Well, I wonder. You don't need to feel indebted. I've told you enough times. It's only £5, and you can pay me back whenever. Or you can keep quiet about it until I forget. Whatever works for you. Oh, I'd never do that. That's wrong. I'll pay you back no matter what, even if I have to sell off one of my kidneys. You'd go that far? If I could find someone willing to make an offer. You're so devoted, like a puppy. This is why I don't mind lending money to you. I trust you. But thank you. No, thank you. I didn't do anything to be thankful, though. My mother always says honesty is the best policy. It should be the only policy. I wish everyone was as pure as you, Thomas. Hattie's always lending me money. Her parents are a good deal richer than mine, and I think she feels kind of guilty about it. I appreciate it, but it wasn't talking about the money earlier. I wanted to pay her a genuine compliment, but it's how because it's how I genuinely feel. I find it hard to express myself sometimes, though. I've been friends with Hattie since we were both in primary school, but I'm still bad at expressing myself around her. Maybe that's because this last year or so, I've begun to regard her as something more than a friend, than just a friend. I wonder if it was inevitable. I mean, she's the only real friend I have. We always sit together at lunch and we group together in PE, and we have sleepovers at each other's houses. Since I see so much of her, it might be natural that I started to like her like that. There isn't anybody else for me to get attached to. I'm too shy to talk to other people, so I don't have many choices. I know some of the girls in my class have crushes on celebrities, actors and singers and sports stars, but I don't really understand that. How can you like somebody you've never met? You don't know anything about them. Hattie's the only person of my age I feel particularly close to. That must be more to my feelings than that, though. Hattie's pretty and she's kind and she makes me laugh. She likes romance stories and she's read Jane Eyre about 4 times. And she loves kitschy places like those in the old-fashioned photography parlors where you get to wear ruffled dresses and act like Victorian ladies. She doesn't think it's weird that I like to spend time in graveyards. Maybe that's because her interests are similarly old-fashioned in a slightly different way. When Hattie learnt I got school on Friday, it was because I was loitering in the cemetery. She just nodded her head and said, "That sounds like you, Thomas." Hattie understands me. At least, I like to think she does. I hope that I can understand her too. Just a little bit. I wonder if that's what love is. Understanding somebody else. That might be why I found it so hard to love myself. I had no idea who I was, only vague hopes of who I wanted to be. But that's in the past now. At least, I hope it is. You've been acting a little off lately, Thomas. Off? Hattie nods. Like, not in a bad way, just a bit different, that's all. Do you really think so? Yeah, I mean, you actually skipped school for one thing. I never would have expected it of a model student like you. My mother didn't expect it either. She was kind of mad about it. I don't really know why I did it. I felt compelled. Like, You heard some divine voice telling you to ditch school? No, not like that. It's more of had a feeling. Not that I'm psychic or anything. Or am I? Could I have mystical powers of some sort? Given I was able to see and speak to a real ghost. I'm not sure. I feel like you've become a bit bolder too. Bold? There's no way. I still get anxious when I have to order food at McDonald's. My hands start to shake and my voice goes all croaky. Do you think the cashier cared that much about you wanted a apple pie? I don't think he cared about me at all. But it didn't make a difference. It's not that logical. People rarely are. Shy people doubly so. I know this only all too well, having been shy all my life. You still managed to order it for yourself, though. You usually ask me. Well, I thought shouldn't rely you all the time. I mean, you did lend me the money to go buy those boots. I gave you a fiver. It hardly broke the bank. And that's another thing. You wanted those boots for months, but you never bought them. Why the sudden change of heart? I don't know. I thought if I wanted to do something, I should do it. Life's too short to waste it, wanting to do things, being too worried. You never know when it might end. Just like Emmeline's did, so unexpectedly. I think that's something I learned after meeting her. I was living my life like a shadow, always hiding away from in the corners, trying to draw as little attention to myself as possible. That's not how I want to live, though. It's not how Emmeline lived, even though she existed in a period of time where women were expected to shut up and behave. I need to try and be stronger, rather than wishing I was somebody else, but being too shy or too scared and resigned to even change. I want to make an effort. I try to recall Emmeline now, her soft curls, her softer lips, and the purple bruises that stood out starkly against her pale skin. But these attributes feel like little more than a list. They're not real to me anymore, as they once were, because I can't see them. I might never see them again, not now she's passed on to the other side, wherever that may be. You'd think seeing a ghost, then being possessed by her departed lover would leave more of an lasting impression, but I guess not. Life continues to go on. Even Emmeline and Cornelia's lives have ended and moved on. And I need to keep going too. I haven't told anybody about what I saw. Who would believe me? They'd all think I was delusional. I'm half tempted to believe what I saw might be a delusion too, were it not for the memories that still linger ghost-like at the back of my brain. The large lake at the Lintons estate. The taste of raspberry lemonade in the long, luxurious summers. Fingers against my skin running through my hair, tracing patterns against my collarbone. The sensations of lips against my own, but they were not mine. They were Cornelia's, and these are her memories, and I have no business clinging onto them like this. But I can't help myself. When she possessed me, our beings merged. I hold within me all of what she did in duplicate. Sepia-tinted, yes, but still there nevertheless. Those borrowed memories are already starting to slip away piece by piece, dispersing into my dreams whenever I close my eyes at night. But they're not gone yet. If I close my eyes and wrinkle my brow and concentrate as hard as I can bring these images to the forefront of my mind once more. I know what it feels like to be kissed on the forehead, the nose, the cheeks, the neck, the lips by the girl I love, but I've never been kissed before, not truly. It makes me curious. What would it feel like? I glance at Hattie from beneath my lashes. She notices, and I flush. Is there something wrong? Do I have something on my face? No, that's not it. I'm just thinking. Of what? A memory. Two young girls drenched in the rain, startled by sudden downpour. One of them laughs, delighted. The other sighs, wringing out her hair. They bicker back and forth until they appear to reach some kind of truce. A cold embrace, with damp clothes and damp bodies. Fingers run through my hair, teasing out the lank locks, brushing raindrops away from pale cheeks. Lips meet together. Their mouths are hot. It's not my memory. It's not something I should be remembering. I should try and forget it. Ignore it. But I can't. Hattie, Yes, what is it? I wasn't joking earlier. I really do think you're pretty, you know. You're being weirdly sentimental today. You haven't been diagnosed with a terminal disease, have you? What? No. Why would you think that? Because you're being all impulsive lately, taking more chances. Isn't that what people do when they find out they're going to die soon? Or when they win the lottery? Hattie frowns. Hey, Thomas, If you've won the lottery and you haven't told me, I'll be really annoyed. I want those £5 back now, with interest. I start to laugh, and Hattie gives me a small push. I give Hattie a small push. She almost overbalances, but she's able to right herself at the last moment. Of course I haven't won the lottery. I'm not even old enough to buy a ticket. And the terminal disease? No, I don't have a terminal disease. At least I don't think so, do. I frown, newly serious, my nose wrinkling. Is it really weird that I want to pay you a compliment? She isn't trying to brush me off because she feels awkward, is she? I don't want to make Hattie feel uncomfortable. She's one of my only friends. That's why I didn't tell her how I felt. Even when I found myself thinking over odd moments and missing her when she wasn't around. I didn't want her to abandon me. I still don't. But if it's Hattie, I should try to have more faith. I've never had any faith in myself, but she's remained my friend for almost a decade, longer than half my life. I don't think she'd like me any less if I told her how I felt. She might think it's a little strange and she might not understand, but I don't think I really understand it either. Maybe I don't need to. I don't know if Emmeline and Cornelia did. Why does everything have to happen for a reason? Why can't things just happen? We humans think too much, all of us, so we become our own worst enemies, always planning and preparing but never advancing. I'm tired of that. Spurred on by the memories of Emmeline and Cornelia, I'm able to gather my courage. It's still small and weak, and there isn't much of it, but it's mine all the same, and it matters. I matter. My feelings matter. Hattie, I look at my lap, my face light pink. My voice sticks in my throat for a moment, but it's only for a moment. I don't want to back down now. I've liked you for a while. Maybe for a few months, or maybe longer. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe I like you as more than a friend, and you might think this is strange, but I'm sorry. I'm a strange person, so you should be used to it. There's a small silence broken only by the sound of falling rain, and I can hear my heart beating inside my chest underneath my shirt. What does she think? What kind of expression is she making? I want to lift my head and see, but at the same time I'm scared. Though I manage to confess, that doesn't mean I'm not afraid. I'm more afraid than ever. But it feels like a weight has been lifted from my chest, and that makes me think this is all worthwhile. Even if nothing else comes of this, I'm satisfied. I don't need anything more. Well, that's what I try to tell myself, but... These thoughts vanish as soon as I feel a soft, warm sensation envelope my right hand. Hattie? It's all right. I mean, I know you're strange. That's why I like you. You don't need to apologize for it. Does this mean you... Yeah, I like you too, Thomas. You do? She nods. But you were always reading those old romance stories, so I thought you'd prefer a Mr. Darcy or a Mr. Rochester. I like romance stories because they're stories. Grumpy old men aren't really my thing. Aren't girls much prettier? That's definitely true. I like girls more too. At least I think I do. My words are wavering, unsure, but the pressure of Hattie's fingers around mine is comforting, and it helps calm my heartbeat. I could get used to this. I want to make more memories like this. Lots and lots of memories, all my own, just for me. The confession might be a bit understated, my emotion revealed at a grotty bus stop on an overcast day spattered with rain, but that's all right with me. It's not like the love blossomed between Cornelia and Emmeline on summer days by their lake, sipping on raspberry lemonade. But why should it be? This is my life, and I'll live it like I want. The past is interesting, and I'm thankful for all my relatives who came before me, who made me who I am. But this is all they did. They shouldn't influence how I act as well. Anxious, shy, tentative, but nevertheless determined, I tip my head and press my lips against Hattie's. The rain around me continues to fall, drumming against the roof of the bus shelter, and the two of us sit there silently sharing our first kiss, waiting for the bus that might never come. I hope it doesn't. I want this moment to last forever. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, it ended. No. Oh, I'm sad. But it's good. It's cute. It's a good ending. Okay, and that's the last episode of Emmeline. Woohoo! I'll see you guys next time on whatever I make. Bye bye.